You might call this impossible. Endless cold, endless distance. But for some people, this is home, on purpose. No roads, no quick exits, just wind and snow. From the outside, it looks like pure hardship. Yet inside, life continues. Smiles, routines, warmth. People here aren't just surviving, they're choosing. So why step into the storm when convenience is far away? Why stay where everything feels harder? The Arctic doesn't forgive mistakes. It rewrites your calendar, your plans, even your definition of normal. And still, communities keep going, fixing gear, sharing work, raising kids, because belonging can outweigh comfort. In places like this, small comforts matter. Hot tea, a steady light, someone waiting for you inside. But here's the hook. What if convenience isn't a gift in the Arctic, but a hidden trap? Because the real reason they stay isn't just the cold, it's the cost of leaving, and it's deeper than you think. When we say the Arctic, we don't mean one country. We mean a giant ring around the Arctic Ocean. Up here, the horizon feels endless. The land looks simple until you realize it sets the rules for everything. One easy clue is the tree line. When tall trees stop growing, you're entering a different world. Beyond that line, it's tundra, low plants, frozen ground, and a climate where farming rarely makes sense. Many locals describe this place like a living map. You don't just travel it, you learn it, season by season. Weather isn't background noise here. It's the boss that can cancel plans, flights, and even safety. And the light plays tricks. Summer can feel like one long day, then winter brings weeks of deep darkness. So remote isn't miles, it's time, risk, and waiting, sometimes for the world to finally arrive. That's why a single plane landing can feel huge. Supplies, medicine, mail, an entire week can depend on it. Inside the local store, reality is quiet and practical. Choices are limited and nothing comes instantly. Even connection is fragile. A dish, a signal, a storm, and suddenly the outside world goes silent again. Sea ice shifts, routes change, and the calendar flips fast. The map you knew last month may vanish. So knowledge becomes survival. Elders teach kids how to read wind, snow, and danger without panic. If the environment sets the rules, why not move somewhere easier? Because moving has history and it's not always happy. From the outside, the solution sounds simple. Roads, supermarkets, delivery boxes, fast internet. Just add modern life and relax. But the Arctic isn't a blank space you can fix. Even a road can vanish under snow and wind. Most essentials arrive by air or sea. Every box carries the cost of distance, weather, and time. In a small store, you shop differently. You count, you plan, and you don't waste what finally arrived. Shelves aren't dramatic here, just realistic. Some things are missing, and you learn to live without them. Many families stretch supplies together, sharing and saving. Convenience isn't a button, it's a daily strategy. And connection? It can be one dish on one roof fighting ice, wind, and a stubborn signal. One storm can cut everything, flights, power, internet. So convenience becomes fragile and dependence feels risky. Even a simple video call can freeze mid-sentence. People shrug, laugh, and keep moving because that's normal here. Some communities are getting upgrades like fiber lines, but progress arrives slowly and never all at once. So access becomes shared. One room, a few computers, and time slots that feel like a resource. The weather adds a constant tax. It delays shipments, changes routes, and turns plans into guesses. Healthcare can mean waiting, sometimes for a flight, sometimes for conditions, sometimes for someone to simply arrive. Life runs on planning boards and weather talk. You don't schedule around clocks, you schedule around storms. Even transport can be seasonal. When the window opens, everyone moves fast, careful, and safe. Many locals say it's not just about stuff, it's about land, language, and the people who hold you up. From far away, this looks like inconvenience. Up close, it's a system, tight, human, and surprisingly resilient. And here's the twist. Some communities could move closer to easy, but they don't, because leaving costs more than you think. Home up here isn't just a house, it's family at one table, shared warmth, and a place that knows your name. People repair what they have, not because it's trendy, because every object carries stories, effort, and time. In small communities, you don't disappear. Neighbors check on each other, trade what's needed, and show up. And the land isn't scenery, it's a living partner. Coastline, ice, wind, shaping how people move and think. Many locals say, "This place made us." Leaving can feel like cutting a thread you can't easily tie back. Memories sit on shelves, in photos and handmade things, like anchors that keep identity from drifting away. Even the graves are here, so leaving isn't changing an address. It can mean abandoning parts of your story. Elders carry maps you can't download, where storms hide, where safe paths are, and what the seasons used to mean. Language matters too. A few words spoken at home can hold generations together when everything outside feels uncertain. Skills are shared openly, sewing, carving, fixing gear, because knowledge travels faster when it belongs to everyone. And for many families, living with nature isn't a hobby. It's tradition, routine, and food security, handled carefully. The footprints across tundra say something simple. We belong here, and we've learned this place the hard way. Community isn't abstract. It's gatherings, music, laughter, and kids watching, learning what we looks like. But some researchers suggest staying put can collide with new risks, so the hardest question becomes stay or move. You can see it on faces, love for this place, and fear of losing it in the same quiet look. When the ground shifts and coasts erode, the problem isn't only nature, it's where a whole community fits. So people adapt, moving supplies, reinforcing paths, trying to protect daily life without surrendering the heart of home. Plans change constantly. Here, the smartest schedule is flexible because weather always gets the final vote. In the stillness, it's easy to romanticize this life, but reality is work, responsibility, and constant attention. And this is the hidden trade. If convenience pulls you away, what happens to the bonds that kept you alive? That's why a simple hug matters. It's a reminder. You're part of something bigger than comfort. Community care is practical. Someone helps an elder walk, someone checks the door, someone notices what you need. If you leave, you don't just change your address, you risk losing the map of who you are. But daily life here isn't a postcard. So next, let's follow a normal week and see what survival really means. Watch closely. The boots, the gear, the sky check. These tiny routines hold a world together, right at the edge. From far away, Arctic isolation looks romantic. White silence, clean horizons, a simple life with fewer distractions and more peace. But step closer and the myth cracks. Wind bites, plans collapse, and quiet can become a serious risk. Myth 1 says they reject modern life, like they're refusing help, refusing progress, refusing the world entirely. Reality is different. Many communities want internet and healthcare, just not at the cost of losing community control. A video call with a doctor isn't luxury here. It's a lifeline when travel is expensive or impossible. And every upgrade has trade-offs: maintenance, dependence, outside rules. People ask, who owns this change? Myth 2 says, just move everyone to a bigger town, like you can solve distance by changing addresses. But many locals say relocation can feel like losing your map, language, routines, elders, and the land itself. In a crowded building, you can still feel alone. A different loneliness replaces the old one. Places like small coastal settlements aren't left behind. They're living communities with meaning that doesn't fit spreadsheets. Myth 3 says small settlements aren't worth it. The argument sounds logical. Too expensive, too complicated, too remote. Reality is human. Value includes culture, care, and identity, things you can't measure with one budget line. Every choice is a balance. Comfort versus belonging, efficiency versus tradition, safety versus self-determination. Something always drops. When you zoom out, you see the real story, not stubbornness, adaptation, negotiation, and survival in slow motion.
So the question isn't why don't they modernize, it's who gets to define what better means. And then comes the pressure test nobody can vote on. The ground itself is changing beneath their feet. Next, we follow the conflict. When nature shifts faster than policy, what does a community do to stay whole?
Here's the breaking point. The ground that once felt permanent can soften, crack, and sink as temperatures shift. Along the coast, erosion eats away at the edge. What looks slow on camera can feel urgent at home. Some villages see damage show up everywhere. Foundations, walkways, storage areas, small warnings that add up over time. And when storms roll in, you can feel the pressure. Nature doesn't negotiate, and it doesn't wait. That's why meetings get serious. People aren't debating ideas, they're debating where life can physically continue. Plans become maps and lines, but every line on paper is someone's house, someone's memory, someone's future. And this is the brutal twist. Moving sounds simple until you realize you're packing up your identity. Staying also has a price. Shipping, fuel, repairs, everything costs more when distance and weather control supply lines. Power isn't a utility you forget, it's a daily responsibility because warmth and light can fail at the worst time. Healthcare becomes complicated too. Sometimes care depends on weather, transport, and whether help can actually arrive. Then comes politics, funding, deadlines, paperwork. Communities can know the danger and still be forced to wait. Systems move slowly. Many locals say the hardest part isn't deciding, it's surviving the delay after deciding. People try temporary fixes, barriers, sandbags, reinforcements, doing what they can with what they have. But one strong surge can undo months of work, reminding everyone who really controls the schedule here. And moving isn't just logistics, it can mean losing places where stories live, where elders taught, where ancestors rest. For younger people, the pull is real. Schools, jobs, options, but leaving can feel like tearing a thread. In larger towns, life may be easier, yet new costs appear. Rent, crowds, and a loneliness that hits differently. Back home, families live with uncertainty, listening for updates, watching the weather, weighing impossible choices. This is the part outsiders miss, the emotional weight of a decision you can't fully control. Because relocation isn't a button, it's years of planning, coordination, and compromise while the land keeps changing. So if staying is hard and leaving is hard, what would you choose if it was your community on that edge?
So here's what this story really asks. Would you trade comfort for belonging if your identity lived in the land? Convenience isn't neutral. In the Arctic, it can come with strings, dependence, rules, and a quiet erosion of community. Many locals say isolation isn't the goal. The goal is staying whole, language, family, and the places that raised them. And yes, life is hard, but there's warmth here you can't ship in. Being known, being needed, being home. Sometimes staying is a choice. Sometimes it's history, geography, and logistics. Either way, the trade-offs are real. Now I want to ask you, if you had to choose between comfort and belonging, which one would you protect? If this changed how you see remote, hit like, subscribe to Strange Earth Diaries, and tell us what you do. Next time you call a place remote, ask who gets to define what a good life really means.